And welcome to New Thought Center of Hawaii. This recording is for January 23rd, 2022. It's a new year, a new beginning, a new creation. And we're also lucky to have that opportunity to be here in this world at this time to explore and to be enlightened and to be thrilled and to be excited. And today we have with us the amazing people that are going to do all that. And our speaker is Susan Gregg, and she's going to be talking about manifesting through love. And Angelisa and Gary, the harmony people, oh, their music is so yummy. You're going to just absolutely adore it. And we're so excited to start off today with music from the harmony people.
Thank you. There's a place by the ocean, caught between the cliffs and the tide, a narrow sandy slice of the garden with the rocks on either side. Come and meet me by the water. I'll see you at the edge of the sea. Neptune's son and Aphrodite's daughter. For one day we shall be free. You won't need your suit of armor. You may leave it on the sand. Feel the sun upon your body and the breeze upon your skin. Come and meet me by the waters. We'll gather at the edge of the sea. Neptune's sons and Aphrodite's daughters. For one day we shall be free. One day we shall be free.
Oh, I'm speechless. It's beautiful. Thank you so much. So today we get to explore from different places on the planet. And Angelisa and Gary are currently in Oregon, and the rest of us here on the big island of Hawaii. And we're getting to use this wonderful way of communication due to the interesting events that are happening on our planet right now. And I don't really even know how to talk about it, so I won't. And so what I'd like to do instead is shift gears here and move into an opening prayer. So I'd like to invite you all to join me, to get comfortable, to take a deep breath, relax. Let your shoulders relax. Relax your mind and just move your attention into your heart and feel whatever's going on there. Whatever it is perfect. And just allow yourself to be bathed in the love that lives in your heart and that expands with each breath throughout your whole body. And allow this love to continue to expand and flow throughout the whole space that you're sitting in this moment, wherever it may be. And allow the space to continue to expand even further out into your community, to your neighbors, your friends, family, the city you live in, or the farm, the place you live. Allow it to be blessed with your love, just sending love to everyone and everything. Allow it to just be bathed in love. And allow your love to continue to grow. And as you allow your love to grow, you feel yourself growing and you feel yourself expanding and moving into that infinite space that is all that is. That space that we sometimes call God, or divine source, or Mother, Father, God, or the great is. And as we expand our love, we actually feel that is, the great is within us and around us and through each breath. And today we ask for a blessing for ourselves and everyone on the planet and the planet itself, that we all be bathed in and live in love, peace, joy, abundance, and flow. That is the truth of who we are and the truth of who we can be and the truth of who we all desire to be. Nothing but pure, amazing love. And bring your awareness now back into your body. As we give thanks, we say, U'alele valiatula, ah, mama e, and we release, we let go. And we let the divine spirit continue to flow love everywhere. And so it is. Oh. Ooh, welcome back. So Science of Mind, this particular New Thought Center of Hawaii had its original roots in religious science or science of mind, and grew from there and evolved and continues to evolve. We all know we've been given the gifts of creativity by Divine Spirit, and so we allow those gifts to continually feed who we really are, and who we really are continues to grow and change. So what's interesting to me is that through all of the 30, 40 years I've been involved with New Thought, it's continued to evolve and change. And I absolutely love how it manifests in my life and in all the people I know and love as well. So we're happy you're here today. And to just give us a little focus, I'm going to read from the Science of Mind magazine. And the title is Living in the Moment. One of my favorite things to say to people, live in the moment. Get yourself out of that other place and live in the moment. Be present, be here now. To live in the present moment is a miracle. The miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the green earth in the present moment, to appreciate the peace and beauty that are available now. That was by Thich Nhat Hanh. Another quote is, "We should also erase the thoughts of yesterday that would rob us of today's happiness. The spirit knows no past and is not affected by the belief in any. The past is swallowed up in the victory of a perfect present, which is filled with love and protection." That was written by Ernest Holmes. Recognizing that I'm living one moment at a time helps me. The moment my mind wanders off into some other moment, I am a house divided. There are times when I've just finished praying, had a great meditation, mindfully catch my breakfast, gotten in the car, and then suddenly someone is driving crazy around me. I leap into fear, and all the beautiful moments I had up until then fly right out the window with the crazy driver. I'm shaken and afraid. I'm angry and not wishing the driver well. What happened? Most of the time, my fear is based on the thought that I might have an accident or die suddenly. It's a startling thought. The thought takes me out of the moment and into some moment I would not like to experience. However, if I take a deep breath and send blessings to the driver and the other startled drivers around me, I can make my way back to the present moment. When all of me is aware of being in the moment, I'm in a better place and have a better chance of keeping my wits about me and my love and my peace. So the affirmation, if you want to say it to yourselves or write it down, I am in the moment, perfect, whole, and complete. So we're going to have be blessed by another song here with the Harmony people, and I hope you enjoy it.
He didn't look much like a holy man. I hadn't known him very long. Something in his eyes told me he'd seen it all. And so I sang him my sad song. I said, I've been chasing women half my life. The other half, they're chasing me. It always seems to lead to trouble. What can the problem be? He said, you gotta be loved. Be loved. Be loved. Be loved. And let the world come to you. Be loved. And let the world come to you. He said, I understand the mission. Ooh, 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 to find the one you're dreaming of. And in these days, I know you truly can. Look everywhere for love. But think about it, where does love come from anyway? You know it comes from you and me. What a funny game to look for love when you own the factory. Be loved. Be loved. Be loved. Be loved. And let the world come to you. Be loved. And let the world come to you. Thank you.
Wow. Again. So when I want to treat myself, I make sure I get a hold of some of their music and just play it over and over. It's so great. Now we get to move on to a new section. And this is with our presenter, Susan Gregg. Known her for a number of years now, have read almost all of her books, and she's a prolific writer. She has books on angels. She has a book called The Toltec Way. I think that was like her Kickstarter book for a lot of other things. And she just has done amazing things. One of her latest books was a revamp of Meditation for Idiots or something like that. And I love it. It's really great. If you aren't a meditator, but you'd like to get a glimpse or have a tiny experience or just get in there and change your mood, I recommend this book. You can get it online on Amazon. You can download it, or you can buy it. Either any which way. And then she's probably up to something new because she's always up to something new. So we'd like to now turn the program over to Susan and let her share her mana'o, her wisdom with us. And we appreciate and love you, Susan. So it's all you now.
Okay, thank you. Before we started recording, Pasha asked me what I was going to talk about, and I was like, I don't know. And I always have to come up with a topic, but what I actually talk about and the topic are often two entirely different things. And thank you for that beautiful prayer. It was wonderful. And the music, awesome. So, creation and love. We are the creators of our reality. Some of the things that we've created recently are interesting, to say the least. And we either create from fear or from love. It's entirely up to us what we focus our attention on. And when I studied with Don Miguel, I also did the Course in Miracles. And not too long ago, I got an email that Marianne Williamson was doing the workbook of the Course in Miracles. And I thought, well, that sounds good. And so every morning I get a short video from her reading the exercise from the Course in Miracles. And that shift in perspective is really, really, really powerful. we can look at the world and be incredibly fearful, or we can look at the world and just experience love. And one of the things in the Course in Miracles is they say only the love is real. And I like to remember that, because when my mind gets going and it's fear-based and it's here and it's there and we're going every which way, not, the reading that you did, you get in the car and it's like, oh, I might die. Yeah. Our minds can take us on incredible journeys, which are wonderful. And the book Pomokai was mentioning is, I think I have 65 guided meditations in that book. And I love it because they're just little verbal journeys and you can read them and go someplace. And I had written that book probably 10, 12 years ago, and they asked me to rewrite it. So I've been doing that. And as I read some of it, it's like, wow, that's really good. And we can make up stories that are horrible, or we can make up stories that are love-based. I'm all for the love-based ones. I've been watching the news lately, which is, I just remind myself that there's just lots of places to send aloha. And the places to send aloha keep getting bigger and bigger. And it amazes me how ostensibly we're all on the same planet, but we're not, because each one of us creates our experience of the planet. And so I frequently ask people, well, what do you want to live on, a planet of love or on a planet of fear? And they often look at me and it's like, but, and it's like, well, if you keep telling yourself a story that creates fear and lack and limitation, then that's what you experience. And I vote as often as possible to create a world of love. I just, last week I had to put one of my dogs to sleep, and it was not pleasant. She was only 2 years old. I certainly didn't expect to lose her for at least another 10 years, but she was born without kidneys. And the vet said to me, you did really good keeping her alive as long as you did. And I've never had this experience before. We, here on the Big Island, there's not a whole lot of soil. So what we do is B creates a little stone, I don't even know what to call it, puka in a hole. And we plant, we bury the animal there, and then we plant the flower. And we planted this beautiful peach rose, and I won't buy a rose bush unless it has a nice smell, and it has a beautiful smell. And I just noticed today there's another rose coming, and I've been seeing pumpkin, and I've never had that happen before. I mean, literally out of the corner of my eye, I'll see her walking down the hallway, or when we go out for walks, she had certain places that she would go, and she was only about this big, she was a little dog, and she would put her little paws out and look like this little bulldog, and she would go, bah, 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 bah. I don't know what at, but she would. And she just enjoyed life fully. And I've actually seen her doing that. And, I mentioned it to a friend of mine, and she asked me, she said, do you think she's staying around because you need her? And I don't know. But it's been very interesting. I mean, the first time I saw her, I was like, what are you still doing here? And then the image, and I'm not one to see in that way. I can look at somebody. One of the things that really got me excited about a spiritual path was healing. I used to live in Vermont, and I was a stained glass artist, so I needed to use my hands a lot. And it was 30 some below one morning, and in order to turn the key in my truck, I had to take my glove off. And I was determined that truck was gonna, and in the process of turning the key, I frostbit my first 2 fingers and my thumb. And frostbite, when it thaws out, is very painful. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, we can save your fingers, but you'll never have full use of them again. Now, they were very important because that's what I used to cut glass and do all that stuff. And I went to see this really sweet woman. Jeannie Lang was her name. And she was a character. You'd call her number to get an appointment, and she didn't have an answering machine. And if she answered, she'd tell you a time and a date, but she wouldn't write it down. for herself. So she never knew who was going to be there when she opened the door. And so she was very glad to see me. And we sat down. She had a little card table, and she always had a Bible on the card table, and she would open it up randomly. She grabbed a hold of my hand and she squealed. I mean, a real kind of squeal. And she didn't say anything about it. I didn't say anything about it. A few days later, a bunch of skin peeled off my fingers and they were normal. And so I started calling her number to get in touch with her because I want to know, what did you do? How did you do that? And so shortly after that, I moved to California and I studied with healers. And it's amazing because, you know, seemingly this is a physical condition and it can be changed with nothing other than energy. And I studied with Sister Sarita, who was Don Miguel's mother, and she was well known in Southern California as a healer. And I watched her do amazing things. I mean, this one person came with this really ucky, oozing wound on their leg, and she used chicken eggs as her modality. And she would, you know, rub over something with a chicken egg and then throw away the chicken egg, and, you know, his leg healed. So I started, you know, it's like, wow, there's a lot more to this energy stuff than I realized. And we're always thinking, you know, that's part of our mind's, our mind thinks that's part of its job. It's always describing what we're seeing. And one of the things Miguel talked a lot about was quieting your mind. And we can see through the filters. I talk about our filter system because literally we don't ever see life directly. We see our beliefs, agreements, assumptions, and attitudes, our filter system. And as we clear out our beliefs, the vision of or version of reality becomes much more loving. And so working with all these different healers, I began to heal my filter system. So, you know, roundabout story, but so for some reason, actually it stopped yesterday. I was seeing my little dog, you know, physically seeing her around, and I'm sure she's safe. And I have a feeling she'll be back in another doggy body soon. But what is it we want to create? You know, I could have been very angry about the fact that she was born without kidneys. I could have done a lot of things, but what I just did is I loved her, and she lasted a lot longer than she would have. And as soon as I perceived that she was suffering, I took her to the vets, and the vet very gently and lovingly helped her transition. And physical reality, what kind of story do we want to tell ourselves? Do we want to tell ourselves a story that's love-based? Or do we want to tell ourselves a story that's based in fear? You can, you know, the COVID, you know, interesting creation. And I find it interesting how fast it changes. It's like we sort of get a handle on it, and then it changes, and then it changes. And do we want to be afraid? You know, I wear a mask when I go out. You know, I do things that I perceive, and I don't do them from a place of fear. I don't put masks and gloves on and because I'm afraid of getting, it's just, it's a choice. Yeah. And I watch, like I said, I watch the news, and to me, it's very interesting because there's really two incredibly different worlds around COVID. There's the anti-vaxxers, and then there's, let's get the vaccine. And then there, you know, and it's like, wow, and people can get really belligerent about this is the truth. And there is no the truth. You know, when we were talking about setting up the video process, one of the things I started thinking about was, you know, the first song that you did about, or second one, about going to the water. I had this really clear image of Jesus getting baptized by John the Baptist in the water. And I've often thought about that. It was like, how is it, you know, 2,000 years ago, this dude could walk around and he could raise people from the death and do these incredible healings. And it was because he was aligned. He didn't have a whole lot of a filter system. You know, he didn't care if he was hanging out with a prostitute or his mother, you know, I mean, and why is it we don't do that stuff anymore? Very seldom do you hear about those kind of miracles, about raising somebody from the dead, or the miraculous love, and then I also think about, like Buddha and Lao Tzu and Jesus and Kuan Yin and a lot of those incredible beings, and how us humans have taken their teachings and infused them with fear and rules, and this is the way you do it. And if you're not this, and then you're, and the idea of heaven and hell, I don't think there's any hell. I really don't. For some people, I wish there was years ago, but now it's just like, nah, just love them. You gotta love them. And if I approach a problem from a place of fear, I get one result. If I approach it from a place of curiosity, what can I learn from this? How can I do this differently? Love expands, fear contracts. And so really noticing what you're focusing your attention on. Ostensibly, when I was coming up with the topic, one of the things I was thinking about was how ineffective New Year's resolutions are. I did some research, and statistically, like 97% of them are forgotten within a few months. And I know years ago, I used to, every year, I would write down things I wanted to change. And then at the end of the year, I'd write down things I wanted to change. And I noticed after a while, they're the same thing, year after year after year, same thing. And once I noticed that, I became willing to really, how does this serve me? How does it serve me to, I used to be a lot bigger, and I always wanted to be thinner. And it was like, how did it serve me? And how it served me was, it made it harder to love myself, because my father, anytime he saw anybody that was just a little bit overweight, he would just, that worthless piece of, and so it allowed me to stay in that place of self-judgment. And when I let go of the self-judgment, all the weight went away. And now I have to actually pay attention to making sure I eat enough, and it's like, and it's not like I, I did struggle for a number of years, but when I finally surrendered and just decided, okay, I'm going to do this from a place of love. I love myself no matter what. And I always do that. Mirrors, I think, are a wonderful tool. I mean, at least in our country, most bathrooms have a mirror in them. And how many times do you walk into the bathroom and you totally ignore yourself? And if a person did that and walked into the room all the time and just ignored you, you'd probably be like, huh, who do they think they are? And so one of the things I suggest people do is when they walk in the bathroom, just look in your eyes and acknowledge yourself. And if you have a judgment about yourself, acknowledge the thing that you have a judgment about and just send it love. And I remember the first time I did this, I looked deeply into my left eyeball and it just said and meant, I love you. And tears just started going down my face because I had never really loved and accepted myself. And, I still sometimes I'll be walking past the mirror and I'll have a conversation with myself. And I pay attention to me and my inner thoughts and what I think, what emotions am I feeding myself? And like I said, I've been watching the news lately, and I began to realize that I wasn't feeding myself very loving thoughts, and so it's like I had I had an infinite number of choices. I could continue to do that. I could stop watching the news, or I could watch the news with the idea that I'm just going to send love to this place that's kind of loveless, and started doing that. And I felt a lot better, and I don't find it necessary to watch the news as much. And curiosity takes me there frequently. But, what in your life would sending it love, improve the quality of your life? For years I struggled around money. I always had enough, but I never had, like when I retired. Did I have a retirement income? No. You know, did I have money saved? No. But it's okay. You know, it's okay, because whenever I need money, it shows up. And there's part of me that would prefer it would show up ahead of time, but it always shows up. And it doesn't show up when I'm coming from a place of fear, you know, when I'm worrying. And I think, you know, and redoing the Course in Miracles, I'm reminded that I am God, you know, that the world is limitless and expansive, and only the love is real. And when I remember that, it makes a big difference. And love, you know, and healing. Healing is just letting go of fear. You know, we can, I have a woman that I worked with years ago, and she's on Facebook, and right now she's having an experience with some kind of oddball leukemia, and it's gotten into her spine. And so she posts about the treatments. And as I'm reading her posts, I send lots of love, you know, and there's part of me that's like, why are you doing this to yourself, girl? And on the other hand, that's not none of my beeswax. You know, if she wants to stay in her body and go through these treatments, go for it. Just do it from a place of love. Love the experience. Love the pain. You know, and there's some things that are easier to love than other things. And none of the great teachers have ever said just love the good things. They just say love. And I have I remember, I forget the name of the artist, but there's a woman that does Buddha doodles. And the two main characters are an elephant and then this little round-headed guy that's always got an orange outfit on. And I printed out one of them because it's, you know, and they're standing in the middle of the universe, kind of floating. And it says, the universe is on your side. And I love blue, and it's very blue, and it's beautiful. And, you know, the universe is on your side. You know, the universe conspires to give you things that make you happy. But sometimes what makes us happy, which seems kind of like an oxymoron, is fear. You know, we're really addicted to fear. And all of our emotions in the Toltec tradition, they talk about emotions as being food for your ethereal body. And so, you know, I mean, I like broccoli and I like chocolate, not necessarily together, you know. And so we have favorite emotions, and literally our emotions create chemicals in our body, and our body gets used to eating certain chemicals, and we can change our favorites. You know, we can start observing. And I'm all about love, 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 love. And when I step out of love, I can really notice the difference. You know, this morning, I have a puppy, and she's an interesting dog, you know, and she's a lot bigger than I expected. She's bigger than my biggest dog, and I didn't really want another big dog. And if I let her run around the house loose, I always wind up with presents, and they're presents that she ate the TV remote the other day, you know, so there's these presents, and to avoid them, I just put her on a leash and let her stay in a particular room. And she was in a particular room this morning, and I went into the back room to feed the cats, and her being on a leash, and she's kind of like, and the leash and I and the gate to the back room kind of had an event, you know, and I could feel myself going to a place of, and I was like, no, just love, 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 love. And I managed to catch my balance and not bang myself up, and feed the cats and pat the dog, and then come up here, you know. And if I'd stayed in that place, I have a feeling I would probably have some bruises and some cuts and all those other things. And so really giving yourself permission, what do I want more of in my life? What do I want less of in my life? And I always suggest love. You know, surrender to the possibilities, the endless possibilities, and love expands, fear contracts. And imagine, and you know, I remember back in the 70s, you know, we were going to save the planet and we were going to do this and we were going to do that. And I don't think we got around to doing it. And well, we can love what is, or we can judge it. And if we continue to judge the fact that we've kind of mucked up the environment, it won't help it. If instead we love, you know, I saw an article about oil rigs, and they're finding, you know, a lot of the oil rigs off the California coast are no longer pumping oil. And what they're finding is it's a haven for sea life, you know, and the sea life just really love them, and the fish come, and you know, it's and they actually took fish that were living on these oil rigs and they took them a couple of miles away and they would all come back. So obviously they like their home. So we can have judgment about those oil rigs, or realize that as they retire them, it's going to be a great place for wildlife, you know. And the forest fires, I always think about the animals and send them love. And one thing that happens after a forest is burned is it comes back. You know, that literally there's seeds to some trees that won't sprout unless they've been through a fire. So realizing that, you know, the planet is going through an evolution, and we can choose to stay in a place of love and alignment and perhaps be part of the next evolutionary pattern or not, you know. And if it's time for another species to dominate, so be it, you know. My little corner of the world, I grow a lot of my fruits and vegetables, and I just love nurturing the earth, you know, and it's really green around here. And lately I've been taking my camera is my iPhone now, and I've been taking my iPhone with me and taking pictures, because I've had this place for I think 16 years, and I've spent 14, 15 years planting flowers all over the place. And they're maturing, and you know, I'll be walking along and I don't remember that planting that flower, but there it is blooming and it's beautiful, you know. And so planting seeds of love all over in your life. I got the message a couple of days ago, it's time to write a new book. And when this publisher offered to have me rewrite this book, my agent was sick and she told me she couldn't do it. So I had to find another agent. So I did. And that really freaked me out, because I've been working with Sherry for 20 some years. And I got the message that it's time for me to write another book. And you know, doing a book proposal and having an agent shop it and stuff, it seemed like way too much work. So I wrote to my new agent and I said, well, are you in contact with anybody that, you know, because I don't mind being an author for hire, you know. And so I just got an email before I hopped on this call, and she asked me if I'd be interested in working with, I think it was the Mayo Clinic and a bunch of other things that they need a writer. And I was like, that's interesting, you know. So I'll write her back and say, yeah, that sounds good. You know, when I was asked to write the angel book, they interviewed me and they wanted to make sure I knew all about angels. Well, I didn't know bupkis about angels, except they were beings with wings. And she started saying, you know, angels have different colors. And I was like, yeah, they do. And I just listened, and they hired me. And then they asked me if I could write the book in like 3 or 4 weeks. And it's 200 angels, saints, and deities. And I had come up with the list of angel, saints, and deities. And they said, but we don't want any channeled material. And I said, well, good, because I don't channel. But what I did was I made individual files, and I would open a file and I would interview that entity. And it was fascinating. I mean, I just, by the end of writing that book, I mean, I was flying higher than a kite. And I really loved the saints, especially because I thought they all suffered. And they were like, no, we didn't suffer. You know, yeah, kind of on the outside looked like we suffered, but no, we didn't. You know, we were just profoundly connected to the spirit. And it's like, well, they're torturing our bodies, so be it. You know, and I forget which saint it was, but there was this one guy, they finally built him his own church, because whenever he would meditate, he would levitate. And then he would float over the congregation and float over in front of the altar. And the other brothers found it distracting. So they built his own little chapel so he could go fly in his own chapel. And and he's a saint that helps people heal. And so it was just fascinating. And it's, when my agent asked me if I'd write a book of angels, I didn't go, oh, angels? I just was like, okay. And I got in alignment with the energy. So she just offered a bunch of different options. So after this video, I'll go read it again and see which ones I think would be most fun. And we'll see. Yeah. So allowing is such a powerful word, because we can allow anything in our lives. We can allow, like this friend of mine has allowed leukemia. And she seems to have found a team that are willing to continue to experiment, ostensibly so that she'll get past the leukemia. And I know that the moment she dies, she won't have leukemia anymore. And if she wants to maintain this physical reality, go for it. So love. Time to go. Is that what that is, Pasha? Okay. So, what do you want to create this year? We're at the beginning of a cycle, new cycle. Like I said, New Year's resolutions don't work very well, but coming up with concrete things that you're going to do on a daily basis. I meditate most days, and I used to write in my journal, but my puppy just ate my favorite journal. So, and I just praying, that beautiful prayer that Pomakai spoke before this. Yeah, there's so many, especially now with the internet, there's just so much available out there. And just decide, okay, I want more love. And, don't narrow it down to, I want a loving partner. I want love. Let it show up in whatever form. And just remember, love expands, fear contracts. So thanks for asking me to talk. Until next time, aloha.
Wow, Susan, that was so beautiful. I love that you always talk about love, because I wrote down what you said. So very, very true. We can just remember that and let go of all the rest of whatever is going on. So we're gonna have some beautiful music from our Harmony folks in just a second. And this is your opportunity to generously support our programs here at New Thought Center of Hawaii, and our facility as well, when we get to use it every once in a while, which is a beautiful lanai, which we get to use more often than indoors. And we really appreciate all your financial support and all of your love support. And we encourage you to click the link or go to our website, or whatever way is most appropriate for you, to share from your financial abundance to help support New Thought to continue to bring you these wonderful, wonderful programs and these amazing speakers and amazing musicians. So now we're going to have some more yummy music. Well, you get to look at where to send your money.
We've chosen a song that I think you'll all relate to based on the world events. Susan made many mentions of some very, shared hard realities in the worldly world that we're all living. So this one is called 6 Feet of Distance. And I'm keeping in mind the love, the love, the love. I'm walking around in a ghost town, keeping my 6 feet of distance between me and you. shops to the mountains, and the treetops like arrows pointing to the sky's shining hue. That's the only way I'm gonna beat these blues. I'm living in a valley, I'm living in a bubble, I'm living in my head. I was thinking I was gonna cry today, tucked away in my hideaway, but I took a walk instead. And this is what I see. I see sadness behind your eyes and kindness, I'm not surprised. I think you're just like me. I'm walking around in a ghost town, keeping my 6 feet of distance between me and you. You're walking too. We're living in a valley, we're living in a bubble, we're living in our heads. The world feels like it's burning now, but maybe it'll finally teach us how we really want to live. We're living in a valley, we're living in a bubble, we're living in our heads. We're living in chaotic times, everyone can see the signs. We gotta learn to live inside our hearts instead. We're living in chaotic times, everyone can see the signs. We're gonna learn to live inside our hearts instead. I'm walking around in a ghost town, keeping my 6 feet of distance between me and you. You're walking too.
Wow. So beautiful. So now we get an opportunity to learn more about Susan's work and how to participate with her. So Susan, want to share?
Okay. I've decided I was doing retreats at my home on a regular basis, and it was wonderful. And then COVID. And so I've decided to do a virtual retreat next month. It'll start Friday night, go Saturday and Sunday. And what'll happen is we'll do it on Zoom. And I don't have it totally nailed down exactly what it's going to look like, but we'll do meditations, we'll do writing exercises, we'll do talking, we'll do a lot of stuff. And I have a beautiful property. You know, I've built a labyrinth and I have a pond and flowers everywhere. And so probably what I'll do is I'll take Zoom different places. And so you'll get to meditate by my pond, or you'll get to walk the labyrinth. And I've done virtual retreats. I actually have a program where I do a virtual retreat for people for a weekend, you know, one-on-one. And I thought, why not do it a group? So one of the things I learned from, we have a Center for Spiritual Living over here on Hillside, and I took a Zoom class with them, and I was recording all of my classes and letting people access the recordings at another time. And I found that very few people actually showed up. They might have viewed it later, but and when I took the class here locally, they didn't record anything. So it was either you showed up and you availed yourself of it or you didn't. So that's part of what's going to happen with this virtual retreat. You know, you show up and we'll have an awesome experience. You don't show up, you'll still have an experience because you're part of it energetically. I mean, that woman that healed my hand, and didn't, peel layers of skin off. All she did is put some energy into my hand. And so I hope you join me. It's going to be awesome. I'll have discounts for Kama'aina people. And I'm not exactly sure where to send you because I haven't made the web page for it yet, but it'll be available. And you can always reach out to either of these two wonderful women, I assume, if I send them information too. So I hope you join me. I mean, the more the merrier. And it's like, let's just get on the love train. Oh. And you can always go to my website, susangregg.com, GREGG.com. And I have copies of my books, and, you can go to Amazon. I have an author's page over there. And you can always send me an email and begin a conversation with me. So I always answer all my emails unless I don't get them. I had one person that when I said that, he got really angry. He says, "You've never answered one of my emails." And I never got one of his emails, so I didn't answer it. So if I don't answer, send again. So, and have an absolutely wonderful rest of your life. So, thanks.
Thank you. Wow. susangregg.com. Real easy.
Yeah.
And she does answer her emails, even if they're silly. So now we'd like to hear from the Harmony people. How can we hear more about you folks?
Well, the main place to look is our website, which is theharmonypeople.com. And so that's nice and easy. Theharmonypeople.com. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube, many live videos, and also we have CDs available as well. A really great place to catch us live is our Live at 5 Sunday broadcasts. We did one last weekend. And so if you tune into our website and get on our mailing list, we can let you know when those come around.
And if you're a Facebook friend or pal of either of us, we always send out notices of our Live at 5s on Facebook, and also broadcast them on live on Facebook, as well as doing a Zoom, so that we can say hi afterwards and sit and chat and just check in with each other. They're very sweet. And if you happen to be anywhere near Ashland in April, we're doing a harmony workshop. It'll be so cool to have you. It's going to be outdoors, so it'll be nice and COVID safe for everybody. Anyway, I think that's about it, but it was so good to be with you here today. Come hear us sometime at Live at 5. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I said, I think Ashland, Oregon is one place I have never actually been. So I know it's beautiful. I know that about it. So maybe I'll take you up on your offer. And now we're going to have the coming events at New Thought. So we're online right now because the COVID count on our island is astronomically high for us, not for other places, but it is for us and the number of people we have on our island. And so we're erring on the side of caution to keep everyone safe. Doing this coming from a space of love and continuing to do the recorded programs until there's a significant change in what's happening here. And next Sunday, we're going to have Kumukela Ching, who is one of our favorites, comes to us a number of times a year. And his topic is Evelomaloa, Honored Legacy Forever. And he is a Hawaiian hula teacher, kumu of all things Hawaiian. He teaches Hawaiian language. He teaches Hawaiian history, and he just really loves this island, the big island of Hawaii, and teaches in a wonderful, loving way. And he's also very funny. So I really enjoy listening to him. So please tune in next Sunday. And then the following, oh, is that the following Sunday? Yes, it is. Okay, February 6th, we're going to have Debbie Hecht. And her title is Longest Journey, the 16 Inches from Head to Heart, with music by Woody Plout. So everything that we normally try to do during the month is canceled for January for the reasons I said before. And we still would love to have people help volunteer for different activities or to be involved in New Thought Center. If you'd like to be involved or be in touch, please reach out to New Thought Center. You can do that by sending an email to to our website, or no, to our email address at spirit of SPIRITOF at newthoughtcenterofhawaii.com, and someone will get back to you. So please feel free to email us or to check out our website. And all of these things are posted on our website as well. And you can also sign up for our newsletter, which comes to you every week. If you don't like it, you can just unsubscribe. But if you'd like to know kind of what's going on or who's coming up next, because here at New Thought Center, we believe in supporting everyone's path to their spiritual awareness. And that takes many, many forms in our world, many, many different religions, many, many different beliefs, many ways of getting there. And the whole thing is, and I love this visual, was one of my favorite ones was, we're all at the bottom of this mountain and where we all want to go is the top. And we all have different ways of getting there, but we're all going the same place. So we all support each other to get there. So that's what New Thought's all about. And I forgot to mention, I am Reverend Pomakai Kulan. And so we're happy that you joined us today. We hope that you'll join us again next Sunday, or whenever it's convenient. You can always check us out on YouTube and see what's happening and learn something amazing and listen to a fantastic music as well. So thank you for joining us today. And we're going to have our closing song now from the Harmony People.
I don't know why it's not. Thank you.
Sure.
We sang this last week and we're going to sing it again today. And we love it if you join us, even though we can't hear you. We'll feel it. It's called When There Is Music.
When there is music, all is right in the world. When there is music, all is well. When there is music, all is right in the world. All is right in the world. When there is song, when there is rhythm,
When there is rhythm,
all is right in the world. When there is rhythm,
when there is rhythm,
all is well.
all is well.
When there is rhythm, all is right in the world. All is right in the world. When there is song,
When there is melody,
when there is melody,
all is right
all
in the
is
world.
right.
When there is melody,
When there is melody,
all is
all
well.
is well.
When there is
When there is melody,
all is right,
all is right
in the world. All is right in the world. When there is song, when there is harmony, all is right in the world.
When there is harmony, all is well, all is well. When there is harmony, all is right in the world, all is right in the world. When there is song, sing it with us. When there is music, all is right in the world. When there is music, all is well. When there is music, all is right in the world. All is right in the world. When there is song, so sing it with me. All is right in the world. When there is song, that's right. All is right in the world. When there is song.